on Martin Luther King Jr. Drive fighting the blight. We're getting ready to demolish this old abandoned gas station that has been vacant since 2015. As you know, Martin Luther King Jr. Drive has nearly $40 million in streetscapes. We have new sidewalks, we have new lights, we have new art. So we want to make sure that we continue to fight the blight right here at this old abandoned Shell gas station that has been vacant since 2015. As my neighbors go back and forth traveling Martin Luther King Jr. Drive, they kept saying, we've got to get it down. We've got to get it down. So I want to thank everyone that played a part, and especially Major Management Company, for coming out and stepping up in this community so that we can rebuild this gas station that will have brand new security cameras. And they have even agreed to hire young people from this very community where I was born and raised.
We're here at Brownsville Village. This is actually a development that's done by Habitat for Humanity. It's a huge development that was an example of taking an area that was supposed to be built out years ago, but something happened during the recession where it didn't happen. Habitat actually came in, purchased this property, and as you can see, this is the beginning of a build out of Habitat homes in collaboration with another nonprofit and a couple of actually market rate companies also. So this is going to be a great development that within the next year will be completely built. It has a green space, 2-story homes, houses that are absolutely gorgeous. We're also talking about actually having homes for officers of the Atlanta Police Department here in this development. So I'm so proud to be out here today with this. Who just left is the Secretary of Housing was here earlier today talking about it and touring it along with Nikema Williams and John Ossoff. So today we're here just actually looking at the housing and the development, and I'm just so proud of it. There's a beautiful green space across the street here also. So just proud of the development in my neighborhood.
The Atlanta City Council approves legislation authorizing COVID-19 pandemic premium pay for City of Atlanta frontline and essential workers through June 30th, 2022. The additional payment amounts to approximately $500 per month applied to an eligible worker's regular wage rate for the hours worked during the qualifying time frame. Eligible forms of work include those that address an identifiable public health harm or negative economic impact caused by the pandemic and involve regular interactions or handling of items that were also handled by others and are associated with heightened risks because of the nature of the work. The Council greenlights a resolution establishing the Atlanta Public Safety Training Center Community Stakeholder Advisory Committee for the purpose of continued community engagement and input in the development of the new public safety training facility to be built on Key Road. The Council says yes to a resolution to appoint members to serve on the Atlanta Public Safety Training Center Community Stakeholder Advisory Committee. The Council votes in favor of an ordinance to formally establish Atlanta's first fully staffed Mayor's Office of Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion. The office's purview will include such areas as youth and community engagement, LGBTQ+ affairs, public health, sustainability and resilience, and immigrant affairs. The Council approves an ordinance to establish the Mayor's Office of Violence Reduction. The office would develop plans to decrease violence in Atlanta, manage certain grants, and coordinate strategic plans and programs with impacted communities and community-based organizations. For more recently approved legislation, please visit our website, citycouncil.atlantaga.gov. This has been your Atlanta City Council Legislative Minute.
This is Lake Charlotte. It has been here for years, and the city last year, we advocate to buy 211 acres of forest, tree forest. That is absolutely gorgeous. We've been taking a tour this morning. This is a sneak peek. The city council voted in 2020 to literally buy these 211 acres. We're going to keep it as a nature preserve. This is actually going to be the Lake Charlotte Nature Preserve. And so when we purchased it, we also got funding for 5 years to actually build out the nature preserve. This is in the South River neighborhood on the south side of Atlanta, my district. I am so proud. So today is the first time since we purchased it, and they've been working on it already. The city and the Parks Department has been working with contractors to actually build it out. So today is our first time coming out from a year ago to look at what they've done. And again, this is just beginning. We have 5 years to redevelop all of this land. It goes from one end of the community to the other. I'm so proud to be here with my community residents, Park Pride, the Parks Department, so many different folks who've been involved with this project. And so I'm just proud to be here this morning.
One, two, three.
We're here for the launch finally of the beginning of the complete street for improvements along DeKalb Avenue. This project is very, very important. It falls into the category of promises made being promises kept. There's been a lot of charrettes and community engagement around improvements to this district. It's been fits and starts around implementation and scope. We finally have a scope. We finally have allocation of funding. They've selected the contractor. We are finally getting started. This is an important corridor that connects DeKalb County to Atlanta. It connects to Stone Mountain and some other bikes and trails. So this is a very, very important corridor. This is phase one. We're looking forward to having phase two happen in the near future, but we're excited to finally have a start to a very important project.
Even though it's overcast, this is an incredibly exciting day. DeKalb Ave has been a dangerous street on the east side of Atlanta for a long, long time. And I am super excited that we're breaking ground on phase one today, making this safer for the neighborhoods that touch it on both sides, for folks who ride MARTA or who cycle down on their way to or from downtown. But I want to underscore that this is just phase one, that there is unfinished work that we have here, and it'll be important to pass a new T-SPLOS and a new infrastructure bond next spring so we can do the full project and give our residents what they deserve. It's all part of the larger, honestly, the Vision Zero of making sure that no Atlanta resident is injured or dies on our streets. And today's groundbreaking is a step in making sure that that doesn't happen again on DeKalb Ave.
Two, three, toss.
We're here because to celebrate the groundbreaking for the first dog park in District 4, and not only in District 4 but in Southwest Atlanta, and it's right here in the Mosley Park community. So we're very excited to be here today. It's important to have a dog park for the health of the dog as well as the health of the community. There are a lot of people that they live in inner city, so there may not be enough land, let's say for a large dog, they may not have enough land for a large dog just to run around the backyard or the front yard. And so when you have that dog park, then they can bring the dog to the park and just let them have fun with other dogs. I just really want to thank the Friends of Mosley Park for all of their work over the last 4 or 5 years with their visioning plan and helping us move forward. And Park Pride has just been tremendous in regard to raising monies that have been needed. And the Parks Department, under the guidance of Doug Vaz, has just been tremendous with getting the job done. And Park Design has done a great job with taking the visioning plan and putting it in reality on paper, and then bringing it out here and putting it, making the projects work right here on the ground in this 33-acre space.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Amir Faroki. I am chair of the City Council Zoning Committee, and I want to welcome everyone to the Monday, October 11th, 2021 committee meeting. Hope everyone is doing well, had a nice weekend, and their Monday is off to a good start. I want to acknowledge my colleagues and anyone who's participating remotely in this meeting. Before we get started, we have a fairly light agenda today, but before we dive in, if I could ask Ms. Corinne Lindo to do a roll call of council members present, and then we'll turn to the substance of our meeting.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Chair. We have Councilmember Carla Smith. Here. Councilmember Marcy Collier-Overstreet. Present. Councilmember Howard Shook. Councilmember Andrea O'Boone. Councilmember Andre Dickens.
Present.
Councilmember Cleta Winslow. Councilmember Boone. Councilmember Shook. Mr. Chair, we do have a quorum of members, of course, counting yourself.
Terrific. Thank you. I do see that Councilmember Boone and Shook are signed into the system. So, Councilmembers Boone and Smith, if you are present at some point, just voice your presence. And if you need to vote by voice, just go ahead and do so when we dive into the voting. Can you please read, Ms. Lindo, our regular remote meeting statement?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Good morning. Today's zoning committee meeting will be conducted remotely as advertised and in accordance with the Georgia Code Section 50-14-1. The meeting will be conducted in conformance with Robert Rules of Order and the Rules of Council as authorized by the City Code. The public may access the meeting conference bridge toll-free by dialing 404-902-5066 and entering conference ID number 151945. This information was also provided on the Friday, October 8, 2021 public meeting notice. The public may also view the meeting on Channel 26, the Council's homepage at citycouncil.atlanta.ga.gov, Facebook and Twitter pages at ATL Council, and the Council's YouTube channel. Today's meeting agenda was also published and made available on Friday, October 8th via the city's website at atlantacityga.iqm2.com. In addition, the public was able to submit comments unrelated to zoning items that have or will go before the Zoning Review Board via voicemail at 330-6035 yesterday between the hours of 4 and 7 p.m. These comments will be played during the public comment portion of this meeting. All persons present on a remote council meeting conference page are requested to please mute your phones and speakers. Meeting participants wishing to speak must be acknowledged by the committee chair. Thank you all in advance for your cooperation. Mr. Chair, we also have with us Ms. Kieta Holmes, the Director of the Office of Zoning and Development.
Great. Thank you, Ms. Lindo, and welcome, as always, Ms. Holmes. Thank you for being with us. Our first item is the adoption of the agenda. I will move to adopt the agenda. Can I get a second from a member of the committee?
Second, Dickens.
All right, second by Councilmember Dickens. Please open the vote.
The vote is open, Mr. Chair. The vote is closed at 68 nays. The meeting agenda has been adopted.
Thank you. Our next item is approval of the minutes. I will move to approve the last meeting's minutes. Can I get a second?
Overstreet, second.
Second, Boone.
I heard Councilmember Overstreet with the second. If you could please open the vote.
The vote is open, Mr. Chair. The vote is closed at 68 nays. The meeting minutes have been approved.
Great. Our next item are public comments. I believe we have one. If you don't mind reading the public comment statement and playing that public comment, that would be terrific.
Yes, Mr. Chair. This is to note that no public comments are allowed on legislative items that have gone or will go before the Zoning Review Board.
Greetings, Zoning Committee council members and staff, and special greetings to you citizens and voters of Atlanta, keeping an eye on city government. Ben Howard, Senior Advocate, Public Policy Analyst. The time has come, election year, to talk of many things. More important, dare I say, than cabbages and kings. Let's talk about Neighborhood Planning Unit R, located within Council District 11, 12, and Post 3 at large. On a recent legislative matter, Neighborhood Planning Units A, B, C, and E voted one way, while Neighborhood Planning Unit R voted contrarily. To understand why the NPUR vote was different from those other 4 NPUs, one must understand that Neighborhood Planning Unit R is a shield, a sham, and a shame. There is no, quote, neighborhood, unquote, because the NPUR 9 will not allow any of the neighborhoods in Neighborhood Planning Unit R to be on an NPUR agenda to make a neighborhood report. There is no, quote, planning, unquote, because the NPUR 9 will not permit topics like the Campbellton Cascade Corridor or the Campbellton Road Tax Allocation District or the Fort McPherson Local Implementing Committee or Invest in Southwest Atlanta or the T.D. Jakes Ministries plans with Tyler Perry Studios. There is no, quote, unit, unquote, because NPUR 9 is the only unit permitted by the powerful allies of the NPUR 9. But perhaps the time has come, election year 2022, when new city leadership will find the guts to stand up against anti-democratic tactics. And Anthony Robinson, Carlos Clare, Ricardo Jacobs, Lynette L. Scott, Alfred White, Allison Hathaway, Cheryl Brown, Agent X, Sherry Williams, and the NPUR 9 syndicate.
Terrific. That concludes our public comment for today's meeting. Our next agenda item is item number G, ordinances for first reading. As has been the case for all our remote meetings, we will read these in at our next council meeting this upcoming Monday. So we will not read these 6 items in. There'll be 6 items that will be read in again in council this upcoming Monday. which brings us to our next item, item number 8, ordinances for a second reading. We only have one today. That is item number 7. If I could ask Ms. Holmes to please read it in.
Certainly. Good morning, council members. Item number 21-00285, Z2139, a substitute ordinance by zoning committee to rezone from single-family residential to light industrial conditional for property located at 3393 Jonesboro Road Southeast.
Everything.
Recommendation is to hold.
Hey, I'm here.
Here we go. Is that Ms. Boone? Was that you?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. I'm glad you're with us. The recommendation is to hold. I will move to hold. Can I get a second?
Overstreet, second.
Second. Thank you, Ms. Overstreet. Second by Overstreet. If we could open the vote to hold this item.
The vote is open, Mr. Chair. Will everyone please vote? The vote is closed at 68 nays. This item will be held.
Terrific. Thank you. We do not have any walk-in legislation today, and that concludes our legislative agenda. I will pause to see if there's any announcements or reflections from the body before we adjourn. And barring none, I wish everyone a great day, and then we'll see a number of folks this afternoon for Public Safety Committee and a number of other council committee meetings this week. But thanks, everyone, for joining. We'll reconvene in 2 weeks for the next zoning committee meeting. This meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.